Hello and welcome to the Ottawa Herald's 2012 Kansas primary candidate interviews. I'm Crystal Herbert. I'm here with Franklin County Clerk Shari Perry. Perry is a Republican candidate seeking re-election for a 5th term in office. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Perry.
Thank you, Crystal.
All right, let's get started. Explain to me why you are running for office.
I have dedicated all of my career to working for the people of Franklin County. It has been very much a pleasure to work for the people of Franklin County. Most people know that I am definitely for transparency in government, and that is one thing that I think government should have.
Okay. Why is it, do you think, you've been able to stay in office for so many terms?
I think it's because of my dedication to the people of Franklin County. My staff and myself go out of our way to help people when they have situations that they need help finding answers to.
Okay. What aspects of your role as county clerk do you believe brings the most value to Franklin County residents?
Probably the elections. The other duties in the office, as far as paying the county's bills, that really doesn't benefit the people in the county. Also, we do the transfers of deeds for the tax roll, keeping track of who owns what property. Probably is another one. We also do sell fish and game licenses in the office.
So you yourself and the people in your office interact a lot with the members of the community? Oh,
yes. Yes.
One of your main platforms, like you said, is transparency in government.
Yes.
Why is that so important to you?
It's very important to me because we, the people, have nothing to do, and there's nothing we can do about transparency, like at the federal level, even the state level. Those type parts of government are so large that I feel that it has gotten out of control there. I think at the local levels that we can still we can still have some power over that, and I believe that transparency is very important to the people.
Okay. What does that give to the people, that more than just power? Be more specific about why it's important.
Transparency is important because the people of this community, of this county, pay taxes. They want their money to be spent in the proper manner, not abused. And I think the people of this county deserve and have the right to know what is going on. That things should not be going on behind the scenes and kept under the table.
Okay. With your campaign's emphasis on transparency, tell me more about why you decided to give up your duty as Freedom of Information Officer for the county.
That position was just not working the way it was set up. The way it's set up and the way it is running now and the way it was supposed to be running was not happening. That was one of those things that, there are a lot of things that I've fought for. But when an open records request was filed, it was to be filed in the county clerk's office. That was not happening. They were being filed in all these other departments, but yet I was responsible for it and didn't know anything about them. I was not going to fight over it. I did not have the authority to tell those other department heads, you can't do this, you need to send them to my office. I don't have that authority over those departments. So that's why I thought it was best to go to the administration, since that department and the Board of County Commissioners has authority over those employees or those department heads.
Does your office still work closely with the administration office to get information out to people that request it? Yeah,
I mean, whenever they get an open records request that involves my office, then yeah, they just got one yesterday. She just emailed it, scanned it, and emailed it down to me, and took care of it and sent it back to them.
Okay. If you feel that there are people in Franklin County government who would attempt to hide information from residents, how do you bring that situation out into the open?
It's very difficult. In the past, there's been a couple of situations, and people say, you know, that I've sued the county twice. What you have to understand is the Board of County Commissioners are the only group within the county that has their own council. So, meaning that the commissioners wanted to take the HR and the payroll duties away from the clerk's office. That had been done in the past before I became clerk. When the clerk previous to me came into office, the payroll went into a different office because the person that was currently doing payroll had also wanted to fill the unexpired term of the clerk that had just left. So there was some friction there between the two of those. So the commissioners did move the payroll and the HR out of the clerk's office at that point. When I was elected, the commissioners then moved it back. It has since been determined by the Supreme Court that that is not a statutory duty of the county clerk, and that's fine. What I felt I needed to do was to cover my back. The commissioners had counsel, I didn't. I had to hire counsel if I wanted to make sure that they were not taking a statutory duty away from me, because I didn't want it to come back later and say, well, you just gave this up and it was your duty. And so when I hired my attorney contacted then the counselor at that time for the county, who was Blaine Finch, and they had agreed that Blaine would ask for an attorney general's opinion. Then he sent my attorney a letter and said, no, I'm not going to ask for an attorney general's opinion. So at that point, I had no option. If I wanted to know if it was my statutory duty, which it was very vague, that's the direction I had to go. Okay. And so that was a suit that was filed, but it was not a suit filing for money. It was just filing because they would not ask for an attorney general's opinion, which my attorney thought that I needed in order to clear myself. That's the steps you had to take. If they would have asked for that, it wouldn't have been near as nasty. I mean, you know, we would have gotten that and it's over and done. But that's not the way it went.
So what you're saying is it's difficult to establish what is or is not being hidden as far as information.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was one personal thing. There have been other things that come up that, you know, that all of the information is not brought forward. And a lot of people in the county government don't want that information out there. And so, you know, when I think that there's more information that people need to know, I do bring it up and say, you know, what about this, what about that? And some commissioners and departments don't like that.
So you're saying some of the people that don't give all the information sit on the commission and or head a department in the county?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that taking away the payroll duties of the clerk's office was part of trying to hide information?
How that all came up was, of course this was a long time ago, how it all came up was it was determined that the ambulance department was not being paid properly. And all the commissioners at the time were involved in this, but there's a number of them that will tell you that they don't recall. They had a gentleman by the name of Ken Keller, who was with the Board of EMS out of Topeka, come down and meet with them, and he gave them this conversion form and said, this is how you need to convert all of the ambulance department employees' hourly rate, and then you'll be in compliance. I was in charge of payroll at that time. I did what I was instructed to do. Of course, this is not an open meeting because we're talking about employees, so it was in a closed meeting. I did what I was instructed to do. John Dow was the county attorney at that time, and yep, that's how we were going to take care of it. So that's what we did. Ted McCurdy was the ambulance director at that time, and the commissioner said, you go and call a meeting for all your employees and you tell them this is what's going to happen. Well, then to make me look, I was the person that screwed it all up and did it all wrong. That's when the commissioners decided that they were going to, that's when the county attorney quit being the counselor and they hired their own counsel. That's when they pulled the payroll and the HR out of the clerk's office. The statute of limitations was about to run over on the ambulance payroll. And so the county counselor at that time and the HR director at that time decided that we're going to self-report this, that we knew it was wrong, but we're going to self-report it, and the 5 years isn't up, so Shari Perry's going to look like she made the county pay out a whole bunch of money. That was not my decision at all. It's not a decision that I could have made, but I'm the one that got the blame for it. So that's another reason, you know, I guess somebody has to take the blame for things, and that's the way it usually works.
You've mentioned previously that some resolutions have been passed to restrict transparency in government. Can you not necessarily name the resolution number, but give an overview of what some of those are? My time in county government, there were two people that I learned a lot of information from in county government. One of those people were a commissioner from long ago when I first started, Charles Mabity. Charles was a very honest man that did a whole lot for this county. The other one was Rex Bowling. I learned from those two honest people about what government's supposed to be like. And when I look at it today, it just makes me shudder. The types of things that go on now from what I was taught that government should be. And it's changed tremendously since then. Yes, the commissioners have passed numerous resolutions against me to try to keep me quiet. I had a resolution passed against me and my staff that if we didn't cooperate, they were going to throw us all in jail and fine us up to $500 a piece. There's been no other elected official that they've done that to. They are scared of my honesty. You know, if I do something wrong, I admit it. I've done wrong in my life, and I admit it. It just, when you're affecting so many people, it's not the correct thing to do. What are some of the major changes that are required by the state in your office, and how has your office worked to adapt to those changes?
Are you talking about like elections?
Yeah, things that they've passed laws or to say we're going to do this way now.
Yeah. The main thing with that is just on elections. Of course, there are some other things that do have to deal with the clerk's office as far as like monies that don't come in. Since the county went to the administrative form of government, I don't do a whole lot anymore with helping the commissioners with their budget. That was something that the clerk's office did in the past. But some of the other changes are in voting. I remember when I first started working for the county, you know, there weren't counting machines out in the county. All of the ballots were brought in. Previous to that, right before I started, you know, it was totally different then. I mean, we still run across some of the long needles that they had with the long string on them that they'd strung all the ballots on, and you know, they had 2 different county boards. It's changed a lot. Everything, you know, with technology has gotten so much better, so much easier. You know, when you go to balance reports and stuff, you know, the reports are already totaled. You're not sitting there on a calculator trying to run 2 takes and come up with the same answers. That's what you had to do before. As far as the state in affecting my office, there hasn't been that much. You know, the deeds still transfer just like they always have, and there's been changes in you know, fishing and hunting licenses, that sort of thing. But you know, it's nothing drastic, and all that's on the computers now. You do it all online and prints out the license. So as far as that, no, there's not a whole lot except for elections.
Okay. So you'd say you and the rest of the people that work in your office have adapted well and gone through the training that they need?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Elvis, we are required to have so much training, and they usually do that at our clerk's meeting every year.
Okay.
So,
should you be elected, this would be your 5th term, what would you do differently, if anything, with the commencement of your 5th term?
I have been trying to get direct deposit set up on vendors. Of course, this is a very busy time of the year, and every 2-4 years, those elections are always huge. This time of year, the city school ones are less, but I'm trying to get that set up to save some more. Trying to get more stuff out on the website to better help people come up with forms they need for voter registration, all of that kind of thing. Posting like the census and all that stuff. We've got all that out there now. We are a very helpful office. You know, we help the people fill out their homesteads. People that can't come into the office, we even went out to their residences and helped them get that accomplished. Somebody needs a voter registration card and they have no way to do it. The deadline's getting close. Go take it to them. I feel that my staff and I go beyond what a lot do to give service and good service to the people of Franklin County.
Okay. If you're elected, how do you feel you'd be able to get along with not only the other members of the board, but county department heads and staff for your next term?
I don't know. Are you telling me that it's going to change, or? I mean, us in the courthouse, we all work wonderfully together. I have to work very close with the registered deeds office. That's where your deeds are recorded. We're good with the appraiser's office on both the real estate and the personal property for the valuations for the budgets. The treasurer's office and my office, we work very close together. All of us there in the courthouse have a real good working relationship.
Has your relationship with your colleagues at the county changed following your lawsuits with the county, and if so, how?
You made that plural, lawsuits. So what are you referring to?
I believe you filed more than one.
Okay.
In the past.
The first suit that was filed was not asking for any monetary value of any sort. That was filed just because, and I mentioned it earlier, I needed to know if that was my statutory duty, and that was the only way to do it, because I have no legal counsel.
Yep.
Neither does the treasurer, the register of deeds. None of us have legal counsel like the Board of County Commissioners do at their fingertips.
Yep.
The second one had to do with a HIPAA violation, and that is something that I'm not going to talk about right now.
Okay, but has your relationship with your colleagues changed at all?
I mean, the people that I work with are in the courthouse, and that's, yeah, it has not changed.
Okay. What is one thing during your long tenure in office you're most proud of?
Oh dear. There are a number of things. My closeness, my friends that I've gathered throughout the years from people in the county. You know, you meet so many people, you see so many people. Just being there for the people of Franklin County. I've learned through the years that a lot of people do trust in me, that call me when they have questions that they can't get answered somewhere else. There are a lot of wonderful people in this county. I think probably the elections has been a big change since I've been elected. We went to the statewide voter registration, and the whole process of elections as far as the precinct counters and everything in there. My staff, I've had a very, very good career with the people of this county, and I would love to continue that.
Is there something maybe you feel like your office needs to improve on that you would hope to work on in the next 4 years?
I have a very professional, dedicated staff. Like I said, we go beyond what would be required for us to do. One thing that you know we try every year to do is make people more understand the election process and how very important it is. With the huge gap in generations that we have now, from people that don't use computers at all and aren't even going to attempt, to the people that, you know, your grandkids that are smarter than you on the computer. I think that's just something that, you know, you have to work through. You have to be there for all that group, and that's what we tried to do.
Okay. You have had some incidents in your past that may lead constituents to doubt your abilities as county clerk. What is your response to residents' concerns about that?
Which part are you actually asking me about?
More specifically, the independent investigation and then the Attorney General's investigation. Also a resolution restricting your office's communication with other county departments.
Crystal, I did find out, I think probably the same way you did, filed for an open records request with the AG's office to find out what that was all about, because I had no idea. I don't mind. I'm going to talk about it publicly to you. There is a resolution that censors me from doing this. So who knows what might happen. Why this started, what I got from the AG's office, which I was never talked to anybody from the AG's office about any of this. Nobody ever contacted me about this investigation at all from the AG's office. What I get from the information that I received, just like the Ottawa Herald received, was that I had sent emails to the chairman of the county commission, who was Ed Taylor at the time. Those emails came from my personal Yahoo account. And I sent him emails about things that were going on or had gone on in the county that I learned about that were not, I would have thought that any commissioner would have liked to have known about them. But instead that all got turned around, and there was 3 people then that thought I was harassing them. I don't know how those 3 employees knew about it in the first place, except the chairman must have shared that with them. But why he would have shared that with them instead of having it investigated and then the harassment filed against me, I have no idea. I was never asked about those. It just got turned around and sent to the AG, and I was harassing these people. I mean, I never said anything to them. I never said anything to these 3 employees about any of this. I sent it to the chairman. But then I was harassing these 3 people, which I'd never even talked to.
How are you working to, if constituents ask you what these things were about, what are you responding to them with?
I had not been asked. My response at this point, they are personnel matters. They are employees of the county. The things that I learned are disturbing. They're upsetting that a department head could actually do these types of things and nothing be done to them. They are personnel matters that I guess nobody's decided to do anything about.
Are you worried that these incidents are going to hurt your campaign, hurt your re-election chances?
Crystal, I would hope not. I would have hoped that these incidences would have been looked into in a serious manner, because they were very serious things. But instead the chairman apparently decided to turn them around, and I have no idea why they weren't looked into, why, and you know, I honestly can't tell you, I honestly can't say that. Why they weren't looked into, I don't know whether they were or not. But if they were, I would have thought there would have been something done about it.
Okay.
So no, I don't think so.
Okay. You have brought litigation against the county before and are currently, litigation is pending involving a HIPAA violation. How do you think that will affect your campaign chances, and how constituents view you as a capable leader?
I'm a very capable leader. I know some of the people in the county don't like me because I'm so straightforward. And when I say like me, I'm talking about other department heads. You know, when you don't follow policy, you try to do things under the carpet, and then I bring that up. The HIPAA violation, I think that every person out there that has had a loved one that has been in the hospital, has been injured, whatever the medical condition was, would feel the same way. And I'm not the only one, Crystal, that has had their medical violated. You can determine that for yourself, and I believe you have. in a open records request that you got from the county, that it's not just me, that it's been done before to other people, when you publicly talk about somebody's medical.
So what's the next step for the pending lawsuit?
On the HIPAA, it's still with the OCR.
So nothing's been done as far as filing anything?
No, not on my part, no.
Okay.
My attorney just sent it to the OCR, and as far as I know, it's still being investigated.
Okay.
That was the last I knew anyway.
How would you say your campaign is going thus far?
You know, I think every candidate will tell you that you have ups and downs all the time. You know, you think everything is going wonderful, and then something hits you and it's like, oh, and then somebody else tells you something and it's back up again. And you know, I think that's just the way that the campaigns run, whether it's for state level, local level. You just have a roller coaster ride until it's over with. You like it when it stays all up here, but that doesn't always happen.
Have you been doing a lot of, visiting with people face to face, and if so, how have those constituents received you?
Yes and no. Like I said, it's very busy right now in the county clerk's office. It's hard to get away from the office to go out and do that type of thing. I've had numerous people, hey, I need a sign. You got any signs? But signs aren't everything. I would hope that the voters of Franklin County will still support me. If they want truth in local government, I'm still there. I would still not just shove everything under the carpet. I don't believe in that. And so I would ask for everybody's vote come August the 7th. If not, then that's the way it was supposed to be. God has a different place that he wants me to go.
All right. Well, Ms. Perry, thank you for your time. Again, I'm Crystal with the Ottawa Herald. This is Republican incumbent for County Clerk, Shari Perry. Thank you.